Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shroomy and I'm a mixed media artist, and today I am doing a gouache painting in my sketchbook. I've been doing a lot of doodling and a lot of sketching and just like drawing the most random objects and just experimenting and trying to be as creative as I can. And this is where I decided to draw some veggies. I didn't actually have an idea of how this page was gonna go, but I just kept adding vegetables. I was scrolling on Pinterest and just like picking out certain vegetables and real ones, so using like real references of real vegetables, and then I turned them into little characters and essentially like used them and drew them how I don't know how it felt at the moment and like how it would have felt on the page, and I think it turned out really cool. So since doing the Creatureanery prompt challenges where I used my acrylic gouache a lot in my sketchbook, I decided that I don't want to do that anymore, and I want to keep the acrylic gouache for more permanent like individual pieces rather than doing stuff in my sketchbook, which is why I wanted to try and experiment with the gouache again. The way that I've been going recently, I've really started to notice more of a pattern in the way that I sketch and draw. I try and be a little bit more, meticulous, or like a bit more careful, and try and be more deliberate with my lines, try and lay them down how I, for the finished product, rather than doing like a quick sketch beforehand, like, and doing chicken scratch lines, I think you'd call them. I do still do that sometimes. You can see on the onions that some of those lines are a little scraggly, but for the most part you can see I'm pulling as clear lines as I can. And I don't know, I've just been trying to be practicing to be a little bit better these days, and you know what, I'm actually really enjoying the final products. They're a lot less sketchy. Don't get me wrong, I do still enjoy the sketchy look and having all these loose lines and you can see the movement and everything else, but I feel like for something like this where I'm just gonna be painting it, I feel like I do want to have it a bit more deliberate. But yeah, also I do notice that I am developing a pattern in my recent artworks that I've been doing. I keep drawing plants, or like stems at least, and I keep drawing them super like squiggly and like intertwining with each other, and I feel like I kind of did that here as well. You can see I think it's like the garlic shoot, or yeah, I think it's a garlic shoot, and I can't remember, but yeah, you can see it like intertwine, and I drew the little heart inside because I don't know, it felt a little plain, like I need to add something in there, so I just decided to do the little heart. But yeah, I don't know, I've been really enjoying that. I think this more illustrative style is kind of like interesting. I don't know, I really like drawing these loops. I'm going in with my first layer of the gouache. Little backstory for my gouache. So I got my gouache, I think around 2019, and I got this smaller palette, which I believe you get 18 colors inside. And then I think a few years later, would have been maybe around 2023, maybe 2022 actually, is when I got gifted the 50 set, which is a huge palette, and there's just so many colors and it's so nice to look at, very pleasing. However, it's a little bit not obnoxious, that's the wrong word, but like, I don't know, it's just too much for how I like to mix my colors and come up with more unique colorways and things like that. I think it's just way too much for me. And so what I did was combine. So initially when I got the 50 set, I didn't actually open all the colors and then have 2 individual sets that are already open. I cross-checked the old colors that I've had for years and I put them into the new palette, and then only opened the colors that I definitely don't have duplicates of in the new one. So that's how I kept it. And then because it was just way too big, too bulky, the massive 50 set palette weighs a ton and it's just massive, takes up too much room. It's just a hassle, really. I never enjoyed taking it out because it was just too much. I just don't feel comfortable having so much paint out in front of me anymore. I don't know why. I think I am starting to limit myself now. But yeah, so then I combined my favorite colors and put them into the smaller palette set, and I think that's worked out a lot better. I've done a couple of works since with the limited palette that I chose, and it's working great because it makes me actually use the paint and also brings me out to make unique looking colors. However, I do notice, I think maybe a slight decline in the quality. Since I've had these paints for so many years, I do notice that there is a not use by date, but like an expiry date. I think I haven't actually checked, so I might be talking. But yeah, I think there is a little bit of a quality issue. As you can see to the left, they're just so streaky and they just don't sit right anymore. I don't know what it is. It might actually be the paper, but you do have to do multiple passes over because once it dries it just becomes so streaky. I don't know why. Again, I'm using it in my sketchbook, so it shouldn't be that much of a worry. I'm just doing these little like illustrations for fun, and I don't know, I could still probably make it into a print if I wanted to, because I think the final product did turn out pretty sweet. The way that I'm doing this specific colorway page is actually something that I want to experiment more with, because I really enjoy having these like color transitions and like having these colors and like making them either lighter or darker to follow through. And it also means that I can like create these really nice shapes and stuff with the paint. I don't know, I like the way that I'm laying the color down instead of like smoothing it out and blending it in. I think it creates a bit more character. I've definitely seen this method done before by other lovely artists. I don't take claim for this. I just really like and enjoy the way that it looks, and just kind of implemented it into my own work. I have been doing this with like other materials like the Artix markers, and I think that is because it's so hard to blend with them. So I just did it with the gouache too. I did this page over the space of around 3 days or 4 days, I think. I would do this and paint this after work, and then do it for like an hour before bed, and then repeat until it's finished. For the brushes, I've pretty much been using like the same brush for the whole piece. I usually like to use these round brushes because they keep a lot of paint in the bristles, so you don't have to constantly pick up new paint. However, you still do because they are quite small. This is a, I think, just like a I think they're classed as like miniature painting set, brushes. I'm not really sure. I generally can't remember where I got them from, but I had like a little selection of these. They're just synthetic round brushes, and they hold up really nice with gouache. I wasn't actually really sure if this is a beetroot or a radish, so I kind of went in between. I'm not sure. I don't know. I just did it because, I don't know, I like the color and I thought it'd balance out with the tomatoes. And all I'm doing is just bringing out individual colors from the actual palette that I chose without really mixing up new colors, and just laying them down on the little squigglies. I don't know, I just felt like it needed some space fillers, so I just decided to go for like these confetti bits, and they're actually really sweet. I love how they turned out. Here I'm going to be using the Faber-Castell Polychromo set. I got the 12 piece, and you really can see which ones are my favorite colors to use. I like to use the pencils for little details, like here for instance I'm using them on the little veggie faces, and also I like to use them as, like, you know, in like Procreate or Photoshop you can add like a chromatic abrasion filter thing. I like to do this on the sides of my illustrations because it kind of like softens them, but like also brings them out a bit more. For example, like this green is so nice over the top of the existing greens. It's like, you know, creates more of a highlight, or this darker green for a little bit more of like a shadowy effect. I don't know, I really enjoy the way that it looks. It kind of like, I don't know, it just brings me joy. And that is all for today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I would really appreciate it if you could let me know if you did, and leave a like, and please subscribe. That'd be so appreciated. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye guys.